Now, what about natural consequences? Because I know this is also one of the things that is usually advised, natural consequences. Um, so a child tries something and something bad happens. So at what point in time do we allow them to go through the natural consequences of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are times you will actually see that the way the child is behaving or what they are doing or whatever, maybe they were building something that I'm thinking my net is going is that whatever they are doing is will fail at the end. So sometimes you just allow, as long as it is not a destructive path. There are some things which are very destructive. Maybe
Yeah.
they were making something that can explode. That one you come in and you intervene at that point. But if it's just a normal thing, just allow them, allow them to run. Like mtoto akililia wembe, there was that thing we used to say mpe, a small cat. Then, or I used to see a child who was going to touch a hot cup.
Yeah.
They were allowed to actually touch and feel the heat a bit so that they can learn from it. So it's important for them also to learn through their failure that you can do something and then it fails at the end, and then don't allow that to break you. Come back and rethink what
Yeah.
what is happening. Yes, come
Okay.
back. And so there's sometimes we allow, as long as it's not destructive. So
Mm.
is throwing stones at somebody's house or somebody's car,
Mm.
just allow.
And be
Yeah.
able to see. Yeah. Even this thing of children running in the rain. Let them
Yeah.
run.
They'll get homa. I don't know, you're trying to shield them from what?
I always say they'll get home and they will understand. Okay, so that's what
Yeah.
happens when people running, because there are people who run in the rain and nothing happens. And you see, you cannot. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Then the other
Mm.
thing is teaching our children on when to apologize, because I think this is very important. Because we see adults who cannot say sorry.
Yes.
We see adults who cannot say sorry. Is it ego? Is it just the belief system that men don't apologize? So, and how do we apologize? Because there's apology of, yes, I've done this, it's a mistake to you, I'm sorry. And there's that apologizing for who you are. So you have to start shrinking yourself to
Yeah.
fit into this small cup or whatever you're being given. I want you to
Mhm.
do that. Yeah.
So apologies start with the parent. It starts with us as we interact with our children.
Oh, all right. So I think we wait for Paris to come back. I hope you guys are having a nice time. I really am, because it's I think it's very helpful for every
It's
parent.
my net went.
Okay, you're back.
With the parent. Parents,
Uh-huh.
hello? Parents are
Yes.
not always right. So when we do wrong, do we apologize to our children? That's how we teach them that saying sorry is not a sign of weakness. It is a.
Mm.
So when we do wrong, sometimes we do wrong as parents and we tell them, hey, you know what? I was wrong when I did this and this, and forgiven me. And then now you allow the child to forgive
Mm.
you. And me, I'm usually for touch. Give that hug and assure the child that and when you do that, the child, now it will be easier for them to, I made a mistake, let me apologize. So they'll be able now to apologize. We do not know everything, we are not right at all times. So apologize so that your children can also learn how to apologize. Our
Yes.
parents, most of them could not apologize to us because they, as I said in the beginning, they were always right. They were second gods. So, and
Mm.
that's how people were taught not to say sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It
Yeah,
begins with that.
okay.
They learn through modeling what we do, what they see, what they hear. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about apologizing for who you are?
Oh, thank you. I'd forgotten that part. Now, there are some parents, or all these things begin at home. That's why I go back to the parents.
Yeah.
They will have you apologize even for what you did not do, because you are the child and they are the parent. Okay, so maybe something went wrong somewhere, and maybe the parent was the major person who played a role in that thing going wrong, but they'll show the child you are the one who did so a child is like, oh, I'm sorry. So a child even apologizes just for existing, or just for being themselves, instead of that. So a child is taught to shrink. You have to become small so that you can survive. And at that point, the child does not have no option. They live in that house. They are provided for by that parent. So in order to have those things that they have, hakuna place ingine wanaweza enda. So what they do, they just shrink themselves. They just allow them, oh, I'm very sorry, and or maybe they are threatened, I'll throw you out if you don't do this, you're going to sleep outside, and that kind of thing. So they find themselves shrinking, and that goes on even up to adulthood, where you find it even in normal relationships. You find one person really shrinks themselves so that they can continue being in the life of this other person, because they were taught in childhood that there's nothing else you can do, then you just have shrink yourself so that life can move on. In fact, women are taught to shrink themselves so that the marriages can
survive. Yeah, it's true.
yeah, they are told, you just pretend like you are the one who did the mistake and apologize for it. They are not taught to stand up for themselves, because again, it's wrong. Yeah.
Wow. So what? So assuming now it's a parent in that situation,
Yeah.
and now such a child, what are they supposed to do? How do they come out from that?
Kindly repeat.
Oh, sorry.
Pardon?
I'm saying now assume there's a parent watching us who's in that situation right now. Or
Okay.
maybe teenager. How do they
Yeah.
come out of that situation? That thing of shrinking themselves so that they are able to get accepted.
Okay. So if there's a parent in that place, then they have to begin knowing themselves. They have to begin getting in touch with their true self, because what they have done, they have placed themselves another false self that, okay, I have to do this for life to move on. But inside, they are not in harmony with themselves, because they actually didn't do the mistake, but they have to apologize for it. So they have to grow themselves and to grow their inner reserves, on their inner strengths. And they should be able to place a boundary, and they should be able now to speak it out. Hey, you know what? Maybe when everything else is calm, if the situation is not dangerous to them, some people may resort to using violence. If it's not a violence, place, and you can tell somebody, hey, listen, this is what happened, and I feel I am not responsible for this issue. So I feel I should not be the one apologizing for it. It is actually you who made this mistake. And be very calm. Speak calmly. It's not about speaking when you are whining or crying, or again, do not become like shouting or aggressive. Be calm and be very articulate. You can even practice it out so that you are able to say, hey, so and so, this is what happened, this and this and this and that, and in that situation I feel I am not in the wrong, and my heart is clean, my heart is clear. Okay. Yes. So it would be good if you apologized. I would appreciate if you apologized, because this is the role that you played in the issue. I think that help. Just come to a point of calmness and then decide to articulate the issue. With calmness but firm. Be calm, be firm at the same time. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's important because, as you said, especially for women, we see a lot of people crying every single day. And it's still because they're expected to behave in a certain way, which sometimes is practical, really. Good. So we move on to decision making. And you see, saying yes is always very easy. When do you say no? How do we nurture that spirit of being able to say, so we are 10 in class, 9 have said yes, and me, I will say no because I don't believe in whatever is being agreed on. How do we nurture that spirit? Yeah.
We used to say most of the time majority wins. And those are the problems that we have been brought up with, that majority wins. Now, majority wins actually takes away our individuality from us. It takes away our individual will, our individual reasoning, our individual choosing, our choices. It takes away our choices because majority wins. So what happens is bring up a child from the word go, from the earlier stages, that they can say no, that they have choices. Help them know that they have choices. For example, it begins with small things. What would you like to wear today? Or will you wear this one today? A child can say no. And sometimes when a child says no, the parent feels like they've been insulted.
Yeah, it's true.
And it is not an insult. When a child tells you no, they have not belittled you, they have not insulted you, they have not disrespected you. You feel disrespected. How can my child tell me no? This is a child I gave birth to. This is a child I carried in my womb. How can a child tell me no? So a child has a mind of their own. We say that a child is autonomous. They come from us, but they are not us. Okay? They have their own thought processes. Maybe the only thing, because they are children, they may not be able to really express what they want, but they can say, Mommy, no, I don't want that dress today. Today I want to wear this and this. And then you can discuss from their own. Maybe where we are going, we need to dress like this and like that and things like that. So, when you train a child that they can say no and that their no can be respected, then they grow up knowing that it is all right to be the voice that says no. Okay? It is all right to be, even if all others are doing this, it is all right to say no. That is why then they'll be able to be in a place where kids are discussing, oh, we did this and this something, and a child says, no, that is not. It's not for me. So it is a skill that is built up from down there, from how we relate with our children. Do we say no to them? Are they able to accept it? Do they say no to us? Are we able to how do we handle it when they say no to us? Because if you find little children, when they're 3 years old, they speak their minds. They really speak their 3 years, 4 years. They have no restrictions at all. It is us people who bring the restrictions. Mtu yangu hivi, sijui this does not, you do not speak like that. So by that time, they're trying to bring out their when they're speaking their mind, they're trying to bring out whatever they're feeling, their true self. They're trying to express it. But now, when we say you cannot do this, grown-ups are not told no, you have to accept everything a grown-up tells you. You are teaching them that they have no mind of their own. They have to flow with whatever is happening. So we need to, even from that point when they are speaking their mind, we need to allow them to speak their mind and to bring out their individuality, so that they're also able to stand up for themselves even in future.
Okay. Yeah. But now, how do you balance disobedience? With disobedience, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
has its own ground rules. Every
Okay.
home has its own ground rules. There are
Mm,
things that here we do not do like that, and
mm,
that will be, that is disobedience, because it does not happen like this, because of that and that. We do not call each other names. We do not maybe yell at each other, and that also has to begin with the parent. You cannot say no yelling at each other, and you as the parent, you are yelling at the children. So there are ground rules. We do not steal, or before we ask for anything, before we take anything, we ask for it. There are ground rules in the home. We do not steal, on that kind of thing. And so where there is disobedience, you have to show the child their mistake. This is what you did, and this is the consequence of what you did. So you do this and you get that. Our parents used to tell us, I'm not beating you, I'm beating the mistake. So even if you're not beating the child and you're using another way of correction, then you need to show them that the mistake they did and the consequences of that. And if it escalates, that this can be the major consequences of which you are trying to protect the child from. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very
So,
good.
and there is obedience and there is disobedience. Let them know there are those two things. And sometimes a child can want to be just to do the wrong thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And, there are consequences of doing that.
Yeah, testing the boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Now we move on to the self-empowerment, because I think this is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
The voices, because you'll always have some voices in your head, and
Yes.
sometimes they will tell you good things, but most of the time they'll tell you negative things. How
Mm-hmm.
do you counter that? How do you? I was watching a clip. I don't know if you. There was this model who died by suicide. I think she jumped from floor early this year. It was in January, somewhere in January. And I was watching their parents. Like now their parents were talking about it, and they said they has always had depression.
Okay.
And so they would usually tell her so many good things, right things, like like you're great, you're beautiful, you're enough, all those things.
Yeah.
But she was saying the voices in my head tell me something else. And
Okay.
yes,
Wow.
depression. That means she was having a mental illness. So I'm looking at it as someone who's not having a mental illness. Like even in our own lives, you see, you want to do something, and then you just start to hear, do you think you can do this? Do you think you're good enough? Do you think you have what it takes? So how best can we nurture our children in such a way that they are able to encourage themselves? Like, I can do this. It doesn't matter how many times I fail, I will rise up again. Like that self-talk that will keep them motivated to face the world, because I mean things are so different right now. I mean, people have
Yeah.
started business. I mean, you can imagine something like Nakumat. Okay, I'm just taking as an example.
Example.
How many small businesses have died in the last 2 or 3 years? So we make sure that our children, that the inner self-talk, the inner self-empowerment is the one that them, regardless of what is happening outside of them. Like that self-empowerment, the self-talk. How do we nurture that? How do we make sure that they don't listen to anything else rather than they listen in themselves?
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, you give an example of the girl who committed suicide, and you said she'd always been encouraged and that kind of thing. She's enough, she's whatnot, but these things also need to come from inside you. And as much as a parent is telling the child, I don't know at which age, that they are enough, they are good, they can make it, the child also needs to have their own inner. And that again starts from when a child is born like a blank slate. So whatever is put into them from that point of birth is what they grow up knowing. So that is why these life skills that we are talking about have to be nurtured from early childhood in small ways as they build up, as the child grows and develops. So from that, even that early childhood, let us tell and be positive with our children. We have children who, because of they don't feel good about their complexion, they don't feel good about how they look, they don't feel good maybe about how their handwriting is bad, I don't know, they don't feel good about all those things. So it is important to listen to them and to listen deeply, and and to be able to really encourage them that they are beautiful, they are humans, they are great people, and that help them see the inner beauty within them, the outer beauty within them, and also show them with examples of other people who feel good about themselves and maybe they are the same complexion as them. For example, there are some children who could be darker than the parents and they're wondering why. There's a child who's writing a letter, oh God, why am I so brown? So her issue, she was lighter than the rest of the people. And those are the things that uh, mm, if a child is not nurtured or assured, they eat up the person for a very long time. They seem small in our eyes, but they are not small. They eat up the person until at last something bad happens or they get into things that are not right. So again, it's important to keep on encouraging the child, to keep on showing the child that the world is diverse and you are part of the diversity, and appreciate yourself as part of the diversity in the world. If you are not able to do something that another child can do pretty well, you're not able to draw and another child can draw very well, it does not make you a lesser person, because there's something that's inside you that you can do pretty well. You just have to discover it, and it will come with time. You don't need to sit down and start thinking, what is inside me that needs to come out? If so and so can draw, what can I do? It will come out as trust life, trust the process of life. It will come out as you go through life. Your purpose is going to show up. Okay, so you really don't have to wreck your mind thinking about it. So whatever it is, understand that we are diverse and everyone fits as part of the diversity. So you fit in, you actually fit in this family. Do children first of all feel that they fit in? A child can be told good things, but in themselves they feel that they don't fit in because of maybe the actions that you do. Do you favor other children other children and discriminate them? Then even if you tell them you are good enough, but hey, you favor other children, you discriminate me. Do you compare them against other children? See how your small sister is neat or your big sister is neat, you are not neat. So are you comparing your children? Your big sister did well in school, you did not do well in school, or that kind of thing. So how do you talk to them? Do you invite the children to your world? Are they part of you, or do you just leave them to their own world? They do kiddie things. Do you take them to your workplace and show them this is what I do, or to your business? And do you how are you nurturing the children so that in that way then they feel that they belong? The thing is, a child who feels doesn't belong, then they are able now to self-destruct because they don't belong. So the first thing is to ensure that a child feels that they belong as part and parcel of that home, of that family, that they are heard. When they give a suggestion, the suggestion is heard, it is not dismissed. There are parents who will listen to a suggestion from one child, and as long as a suggestion is coming out from another child, they won't listen to it, because maybe a parent has a preconceived something that this child never makes sense, or this child is the one who always makes sense. So you're always listening from one child. When one child says something, then it is heard, it is done. When another child says something, it is dismissed. So what have you done to that child? You have killed that child. You have killed them inside. Totally, you have killed them because you don't listen to them. You don't understand them. If they air their problems, hey, mom, this and this is happening. Are you listening to them? Are you dismissing them? Are you just pretending you've listened, but you have not listened? What are you doing about it? So there's a lot of things that can make, if a child feels they belong, even if they come from the poorest home, they'll be able to have enough strength to go through that and come out successfully at at the other end. So that is what I found out with some people. So a child can be from a very rich home with everything, but they feel they are not part of that home, and then they start self-destructing. They want to fill that space of feeling not enough, not good, with other things, drugs, sex, things out there. They start feeling their self, or even committing suicide, because they do not belong. They are not heard. They are not understood. They feel not liked. Okay, so, and most of the time we say we have provided everything. What else do you want? There is a lot more that a child needs, so that they can just feel enough and complete in themselves and in their own diversity, and that they fit. If a child feels they fit in a family, then they'll be able to fit in the society. They'll be able to fit in school. Even if they are different, they'll be able to fit in. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that reminds me of something else. This thing, especially for ladies. I don't know. I think is it the ladies the whole world, or is it ladies in Africa? I don't know. But this thing of having a value tag based on age, because that's also a thing that is really a big problem. Like you find someone, oh, old, I'm 30 years. Oh, I'm old, I'm 25. I mean, I'm just trying to understand. I'll be turning 40 in a month's time. And I'm always trying to understand how best can I nurture my girl and my boys that no one can actually value them in whatever circumstance, whether by age, by money, by how do you bring up such a mindset that it's okay, you can value yourself if you think after 30 or after 40 you're expiring, that's fine, but that does not apply to me. How do we bring that? I'm trying to see what happened, but I cannot really point. How do you strong, like you just don't allow those things to get into you?
Wow. That's a bit, because not so many, especially ladies, we don't ask a lady their age. Ladies they are 16 forever, or 21 forever, or that kind of thing. So we have been conditioned, okay, that for ladies, aging is not a good thing, or that aging, huyu amechapa. They use the word amechapa, amebit. You get, aging brings kuchapa, or it brings kubit. And yet aging may, just like even turning 40 or turning 30, may bring a very beautiful thing. You have new insights. You feel you are renewed, you are growing. Aging actually brings growth. Okay, so again, to nurture that from early childhood, you are growing up. You are now a preteen. There are so many opportunities ahead of you as a preteen. There are clothes maybe you could not wear as a child. Now you're turning into a teenager. You can rock these clothes and you can feel very happy about yourself. You can there are certain privileges that maybe as a child you don't have, but now you have this other privilege because you are turning this age, and it goes on and on. As you're turning into your 20s, there's a privilege that you have. There's some independence that comes, there's some more freedoms that as parents we add, because you are now becoming a young adult. So there's always grace that comes with aging. So let's help the child know that when you age, when you grow older, it means that you have responsibility over more, and you have more freedom, and you have more possibilities ahead of you. Okay, so there is so much more that is ahead, so much more that is open ahead of you, and you have more choices to make. Okay, and you can now make them independently. So it's like the world just opens before you. It's as you grow older. Yes, we have had even our daughter saying, I don't want to grow old. I don't want. And they feel like growing old is such a bad thing. They even tell you, ma'am, sisi tukikuwa na watoto wewe utakuwa umezeeka sana, and they have started figuring out how the age is going to be. You're going to be as old as grandmother or as old as great grandmother, and they're starting thinking how the age now is going to how it will really affect them, and they really would not want to get there. They're even fearing if you yourself as a parent get there. So you just tell them, life is not static, it moves. As the days move, one day you get older by 1 day, you get older by 1 year, you get older by 2 years, and then things change, life opens up more. So what we do is we take care of ourselves now, so that by the time it reaches there, then we shall be good enough. I turned 41 in January, and it's a good feeling. Yes, it's a good age. So welcome to 40s. Welcome to the 40s.
Wow, thanks. Because I've seen it and I was like, my God, all right. I was just wondering how best can we do this. Now, as we wind up, I want us to talk about being able to celebrate other people's success. Because I do know that there are people who think they should always be on top and nobody else has to be on top. Or there's this fear of if I'm on top, then you also come on top. It's like it's like there's not enough space for everyone else. So people start kanyagiani people and all that. It's not much to the next generation. So how best can we nurture that so that people are able to celebrate other people's success, and also being able to appreciate the fact that we can actually all be success, and success, the space of success is actually infinite. How do we nurture that at home? Did you hear? Sorry.
Okay. So that comes from, there was a bit of an issue. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So it begins from nurturing a mentality of abundance. Okay? That in this world there is enough for everybody. That is why the Creator created an expanse of everything. He did not create one grain of sand or one drop of water or one tree. He created an expanse of everything because he knew it would be enough for us. So when a person knows that there is enough to go around, okay, if so and so gets it, does not mean I will not get it. Or if so and so gets it, does not mean that my chances of getting it are gone. And it is not a must I get what so and so has. I might also be blessed where in another way in which so and so has not been blessed, or we can both be blessed in the same ways. Okay, so there is enough to go around. There is enough for everybody. So there are things that we do as parents to show the children, unless somebody got this with a bad means. I've seen a child borrowing something, and when they were not given, they said, kumbe hata hiyo gari ni ya sponsor. You get? So they believe that the only way that a young lady can get something is through a sponsor. Already that is a scarce mentality, a mentality of scarcity, that the child knows that I cannot do it myself, apart from when a sponsor does that. So it is, and that did not come from that 5-year-old who was speaking like that. That child had it from adults who also have the same mentality, who passed it on to the child. Or rich people stole, or rich people, they are corrupt. So we know that unless you steal, unless you're corrupt, unless you do certain things, that's the only way to get things. No. The world has everything for us. So if we, in our minds, if we are able to internalize that, then we shall be able to celebrate other people. When we feel jealous, but those are normal to feel jealous, but when now it becomes extreme, like envious, like you're really feeling but to, like in social media, those people who don't have cars, to kae kwa tendani, that kind of thing, mtawachana tu, mtawachana tu comes out of that scarcity mindset. There is no scarcity of good men, there is no scarcity of good women. So when you say mtawachana tu, it shows that okay, you'll end up like me, or you'll end up, you get. So it's good to celebrate when people are winning. Teach your children, go where people are celebrating others. Go and celebrate the graduations of other people. Have them also celebrate themselves, their birthday parties, their graduations. Celebrate them as well, so that they also learn. It is good to celebrate other people. If somebody, a neighbor's child, passes their KCPE, go there and tell them, hey, congratulations, go with your child. Let's go to so and so. The child has passed KCPE. Let's go and tell them congratulations. With that, they learn. Higher. It's not a competition. It is, it's not a competition. So it's good to celebrate her, so that even the child will learn when their time comes and they do well, they'll also be celebrated. So they learn to celebrate other people. And now some parents really teach other contrary things, maybe even they stole the exam. They talk really bad about people who have made it. We are the ones who teach our children. They see, model it to them, they hear what we speak. So when we speak badly about people who have made it, instead of celebrating them, then that is what they will grow up knowing. They'll always be poking holes, looking for them to poke holes. Ingekuwa mimi ningefanya hivi na hivi, poking holes instead of celebrating. Why did that person use that money this way? Yenye aliwin, me, I would have done this and that, instead of celebrating, So let's all these things we're talking about is just through modeling. How do we model? The children, monkey see, monkey do. Whatever they see is what do. We can tell them a different thing, but they also see. And what they see is what makes more impact to them, apart from what they hear. Okay, so let them see us celebrating with other people, and other people celebrating with us. And then with that, a long time ago, there was a lot of, we used to go to a lot of functions when we were children, and a lot of, sijui what, mtoto wa huyu amefanya, these ones are going to America, then we go to a bash. We used to go and celebrate people. There used to be a lot of that. Nowadays, I don't see it quite a lot, but in our own little ways, it's important to celebrate others and teach our children that you can do it. You can even give a gift. Because the child has passed, let me give something small to my neighbor's child. I may appreciate them, and then that's how we learn. Yes, and that is enough for everybody. Yes.
Love that.
Mm.
You need to
I
have the
don't know
mental.
if that has answered.
Yes, it has. It has. I love the fact you said the mentality of
Okay.
abundance at home. And it's the mentality. As we said, poverty is equally a mentality. So if you think there's
Yeah.
scarcity, it also
Mm.
takes forward a lot rather than actually being able to
Yeah.
get what we need. Yeah. So that brings us to a close, Peris, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I personally have learned a lot.
There's a whether it's me or you who is breaking.
Oh, pole pole. So I'm saying that brings us to a
Yeah.
close. Thank you so
Mm.
much. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I've learned a lot. I'm going to definitely try execute some of these in my home. And I wish that everybody who's going to take time to watch
Yeah.
this will actually take their
Yeah, I
time.
can hear you, but you are breaking point. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So we're just winding up. Yeah, so we'll actually take their time and be able to do this, because really mental
Yeah.
health, a strong mentality is everything that your child needs, because for them to navigate tomorrow starts here. It's not about what they have, it's actually going to start here. So Peris, as we wind up, can you give us your closing remarks?
So effective parenting. Let me say this: effective. Hello. You can hear me?
Yes, I can. Just proceed. I think there's a delay. Yeah,
Okay.
just yeah.
Okay. So good. Effective parenting. For us to be effective parents, we need to be calm so that we can do. By becoming, I mean there was how we were brought up and how we became as a result of how we were brought up. So we need to go back and check: am I parenting unconsciously, just perpetuating what how I was taught? Okay, am I just perpetuating how I was brought up because this is what my parents
Uh, all right. So guys, unfortunately, I think the internet is misbehaving, but I hope you guys have been able to get as much as you can. So Paris was saying her closing remarks, but unfortunately she has dropped. So I think we'll end our broadcast here, and thank you so much for you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I hope you've learned as much as I did. Bye bye. Have a good one.